Some children during the Great Depression tried to hide their school lunches from other students. Not because the food looked strange, but because sometimes there was almost nothing inside. A few dry pieces of bread could be the only food they had for an entire school day. Sometimes there wasn't even enough food at home for that. Leftovers were wrapped in paper just so a child wouldn't have to sit at school with empty hands. Milk was mixed with water so it could last a few more days. And even then, some parents stayed hungry themselves just so their children could have something to eat. Some children pretended they weren't hungry at all because they were ashamed of how little food they had. Little by little, food stopped being about feeling full. For many families, every meal became nothing more than an attempt to make it through one more day. But for many American families, school lunches were only the most visible part of a much harder life. After the children left for school, many kitchens were left with almost no food at all. Some parents said they had already eaten earlier, even when they hadn't touched food all day. A single pot of food had to last an entire family for as long as possible. Sometimes dinner was nothing more than whatever could still be stretched from the day before. Over time, many families stopped seeing hunger as something temporary. Some parents intentionally left a little food on their plates so their children would believe there was still enough food in the house. During dinner, adults tried to act calm, even while constantly thinking about what the family would eat tomorrow. From the outside, these families could still look completely normal. But behind closed doors, many parents spent every evening trying to solve the same problem: how to keep their children from realizing how bad things had really become. And little by little, people began hiding their poverty not only from neighbors, but even from their own children. Over time, many American families slowly became used to constant hunger. At first, people noticed every missed meal, every empty plate. Every night they went to bed still feeling hungry. But eventually, it stopped feeling unusual. Little by little, people stopped being surprised by how small their dinners had become. Some families drank hot water or thin soup simply to feel something warm for a little while. Sometimes, people didn't fully realize how hungry they were until late at night, lying awake before sleep. And slowly, never truly feeling full started becoming normal. For many people, the hardest part was no longer the hunger itself. It was having to get used to it day after day. Over time, life began changing not only for adults, but for children as well. Some children understood far too early that there was less and less food left in the house. Some intentionally ate more slowly so their younger brothers or sisters could have a little more. Others pretended they were already full even when they were still hungry. Little by little, many children began seeing constant hunger as a normal part of life. A hot dinner became something that didn't happen every day anymore. Sometimes the only warm meal of the entire day was a thin bowl of soup. And even then, families still tried to gather around the table as if they were living a normal life. For many children, the Great Depression was not only a time of poverty, it became a time when they were forced to stop feeling like children far too early. And little by little, food began serving a completely different purpose. It was no longer something connected to comfort or enjoyment. The purpose of food became simply to silence hunger for a little while. More water was added to soups so they could fill more bowls. Bread was often used just to make small meals feel like enough. Some families intentionally stretched dinner for as long as possible, hoping the hunger wouldn't return so quickly. Even the smallest leftovers were stretched for as long as they could last. Over time, people stopped judging food by taste and started judging it by how long it could keep hunger away. For millions of American families, food during the Great Depression stopped being part of a normal life. It became nothing more than a way to make it through one more day.